Hello everyone, my name is Sidharth Bhardwaj and I'm excited to introduce you to my project for the LFX Mentorship program this summer, that is Zowe Security Workgroup CVE Publication and Automation. As a part of the LFX Mentorship program at Open Mainframe, we have been working on a project that aims to streamline the process of CVE publication using automation workflows. Yeah. So the first thing is going to ask, what is the need of this project? So earlier, any vulnerabilities found within the Zowe needs to get manually entered into the MITRE's database, which takes a lot of time and redundant work if you need to address more than one CVE. So the main goal of this project is to automate this process of publishing the CVE. To achieve this, we have developed a workflow that integrates with GitHub Actions and various APIs like OctoKit, MITRE testing instance, GitHub, and core modules. We're going to talk about the working a little bit later. First, we're going to see how we're going to use this. To use the CV automation workflow in your repository, you need to create a data.json file, and inside the JSON file, you need to populate it with CVE that needs to be uploaded and push the file changes. And then you need to navigate to your repository and manually triggers the workflow, or you can create a PR with the provided template, and your CVE passes through the validator and gets uploaded to instance if it's in valid format. Then we upload it to the databases. Here's the architectural workflow of the whole process. So here's we've just talked about that the JSON data here and the pull request. You can replace it with the manual triggering workflow. So here's the whole backend that's going to work. First the index.json file extracts the PR description and calls a function handle CVE reserve and upload function inside the security utils, which is going to send the CVE to our validator that we have made and its schema in compliance with the CVE services of JSON 5 for CNA containers. Yeah. So the validator works like for the correct format. It just takes the basic structure required to upload the CVE, and the second step is that if there is any further optional keys that needs that are there, and then it checks if it's in correct format. And third, if there's any key that is not in the that is not present in the CVE services format but is still there, then we're gonna throw the error. Yeah. So the exact number of IDs to reserve that that you have mentioned in the PR description gets sent to the IDR service here, which sends the request to the testing in database and reserves the IDs for us. And then it's going to send that reserved ID and the data CVE and CVE data to the send CVE test.json file. Sorry, send CVE test.js file, which is going to parse the JSON and send CVE reports to MITRE test API. So yeah, so here's the project demo. So here's the project. So first, there are many ways to upload. As I said earlier, you can either create a PR or you can directly create a trigger a manual workflow to run. That can be done by here. Yes. Yeah, it can be done by here, but just run the workflow. And for this, you need to firstly add your name and email, and you have to specify the amount of vulnerabilities you're reporting for the sake of simplicity. I just added one here, all the way down. So yeah. So first we're gonna get greeted with a thank you message for submitting this pull request. And yeah. And second, it's going to validate the JSON. If it's in if the JSON is valid, then it's proceed to the next step of reserve then of triggering the IDR, which going to reserve a CVE ID for us in order to upload it to testing instance. Then it's going to upload it to the test Mitos testing servers database, and you'll get a link to check that. So let me just show you. Well, I forgot to copy that. Yes. Check. Sure. So here's the workflows you have there. CV that was just added. So here is that, and here's some screenshots for it. Yeah. So the main thing for this project is the validator that we have made. So the validator works for three basic structures. So one for the basic CVE required to just upload it to the services, and then it checks on to whether if there are any optional keys present inside the uh, and then subsequently it verifies for the optional keys whether they're present, and if they're present they should be in the correct format. So let me just show the CV schema. This is the schema that we have made for move to slide. Yeah. So here's the unit testing. So we have thoroughly tested this workflow using unit tests to ensure its reliability. These tests cover various components like reserved ID test.js, CVE test.test.js, JSON schema.test.js, and index.js. Comprehensive testing is crucial for maintaining the code quality. We have made sure that the testing coverage is more than 80%, but due to the time constraints, we couldn't do integration testing. These tests would involve actions like creating PR, verifying comments, and reserving IDs on MITRE's testing instance. For writing unit tests, we have used Zest. We then made a separate workflow to make sure that these tests run as a part of every PR when there are any changes made to the code base. Right. Yep. So I made some small contributions throughout my journey. So fixed some minor bugs in the Zowe doc side, made some changes in the Zowe org side, and solved some minor issues at Zowe CLI. Next slide. Yeah. So end of my LFX journey. Time flies. This 12 weeks journey was an amazing experience for me. I learned many new technologies like GitHub Actions, ML, etc., and also explored a lot in the CV service repository, and not to mention the modules for AutoCAD, and improved my skills in Node.js as an added advantage. I would also like to thank Jakub for mentoring me and clearing my stupid doubts I ask on a daily basis to him. And I would also like to thank Open Mainframe community for giving me this opportunity. Thank you. And that's it from my side. This is Sidharth signing off.